Okay, so for all you hotel and restaurant entrepreneurs out there looking for that perfect spot for your next big venture, maybe you're thinking Paris or Tokyo or New York.
Right, the usual suspects.
Exactly. But today we're going to somewhere completely different, somewhere you might not have even considered.
Off the beaten path a bit.
Yeah, exactly. And to guide us on this little journey, we have Maurice. He's a real expert in the food and beverage world, a hospitality pro.
That's right, and he wants to make the case for Neuchâtel, Switzerland.
Neuchâtel, Switzerland. Okay, I'll admit I don't know a ton about it.
Well, that's what we're here for, right?
Yeah.
This is a deep dive to figure out if this place really does have what Maurice says it has.
Yeah.
Untapped potential.
Untapped potential. I like the sound of that. So where is Neuchâtel anyway?
It's nestled in the Jura Mountains, right on the shores of Lake Neuchâtel. Absolutely beautiful.
Okay, so we've got the scenery part down. What about the food scene?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. Maurice starts off by talking about Switzerland's reputation. Precision quality craftsmanship.
Yeah, they're known for that, for sure. But how does that translate to Neuchâtel specifically?
Well, he really emphasizes this idea of terroir. The unique combination of soil, climate, all those environmental factors.
Ah, that makes sense. So what's special about Neuchâtel's terroir?
We're talking vineyards that produce some really top-notch wines.
Okay, I'm listening.
And then you've got these lush pastures, perfect for dairy farming, so they make incredible cheeses like Gruyere and Vachermont d'Or.
Ooh, I love a good Gruyere.
And let's not forget the laking pristine waters teeming with perch and whitefish.
So we've got the raw ingredients, but what about the actual dining experiences?
This is where Maurice gets really excited. He talks about this fusion of old traditions and modern culinary innovation.
Okay, so they're not just stuck in the past.
Not at all. He sees it as a place where chefs can really push boundaries while still respecting those traditional ingredients and techniques.
Can you give me an example of what that might look like?
Sure, imagine like a dish with fresh lake fish,
Yeah.
but served with a totally unique sauce. Something that surprises you, something innovative.
Okay, I can see that.
Or think about like artisan chocolates made with local alpine honey. That little twist elevates the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm getting the picture. So Maurice calls Neuchâtel a perfect storm of opportunity for entrepreneurs. Why is that?
He really breaks it down into a few key factors. First off, the investment costs are more manageable there compared to like Zurich or Geneva.
That makes sense. Those cities are expensive.
Exactly. And then there's this growing tourism sector, which means more potential customers for restaurants and hotels.
Gotcha. So a good mix of affordability and opportunity.
Right. And Maurice really emphasizes the authentic, unspoiled atmosphere.
Yeah, those cobbled streets and medieval architecture you mentioned before, it's definitely got that charm.
And think about it. Switzerland has a high purchasing power and a reputation for excellence.
So people are willing to spend money on quality experiences?
Exactly. Maurice sees it as a place for bespoke experiences,
Yeah.
not just mass market appeal.
So you could have Michelin-starred restaurants alongside cozy family bistros.
Exactly. And the overall stability of Switzerland is a big plus for long-term investments.
Okay, I'm seeing the appeal here, but how does a place so steeped in tradition also embrace modern trends?
That's a great question. And Maurice has some really interesting thoughts on that. He sees huge potential for non-alcoholic mixology in Neuchâtel.
Non-alcoholic mixology.
Yeah. With the growing trend of mindful drinking, there's a real demand for sophisticated non-alcoholic options.
So a bar or restaurant specializing in those could really carve out a niche.
Exactly. And it aligns with those shifts in dining habits.
What's another trend he sees taking off?
Hyperlocal menus entry.
Okay, so taking farm to table to the next level.
Precisely imagine menus that change daily based on the freshest ingredients from nearby farms' vineyards. The lake.
So the terroir is really front and center.
Exactly. It's about that deep connection to the land and the producers.
What's the third trend?
This one's interesting. He calls it atmosphere as a vector.
Atmosphere as a vector. Okay, I'm intrigued.
It's about crafting a complete sensory experience. Think music lighting, the way the staff interacts with customers.
So it's more than just the food, it's the whole vibe at the place.
Right. In a place as beautiful as Neuchâtel, that atmosphere can really amplify the whole dining experience.
It's like you're telling a story with all these different elements.
Exactly. Now, Maurice also shares his vision for what he calls the Neuchâtel Dream Restaurant. What do you think that looks like?
I'm picturing something cozy and inviting with really warm and welcoming staff.
Exactly. That's the heart of it. A place that feels like home and celebrates the region's culinary heritage.
Okay, I'm already sold on the atmosphere. What about the food?
The menu would really highlight that incredible terroir. Simple but elegant dishes that let the quality of the ingredients shine through.
Give me some examples. I'm getting hungry just thinking about it.
Okay, how about fresh perch fillets, pan-seared and served with a sauce made with a local wine?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Or handmade ravioli filled with Gruyere and just a simple drizzle of brown butter, maybe served with some crusty local bread for.
I could go for that right now.
And for dessert, maybe a modern take on a classic dessert like alpine milk ice cream with seasonal fruit.
It all sounds so fresh and delicious. So are there any existing restaurants in Neuchâtel that kind of embody this spirit?
Maurice mentions a few that are worth checking out. La Table du Palafite is a good example, contemporary seasonal with a focus on fresh seafood.
So that kind of modern approach we were talking about.
Exactly, and they blend French techniques with Swiss ingredients and even some Asian influences, so pretty innovative.
Okay, cool. What else?
There's the Brasserie du Jura, which is more traditional, serving local specialties and seafood in a really charming setting.
So you've got that classic option as well. What's the last one?
The Café des Halles, known for their seasonal and original cuisine, in a very relaxed atmosphere. They've got a nice terrace, too.
It sounds like there's a good variety already established in Neuchâtel. What about some unique local specialties that a new restaurant could explore?
Oh, there's some really interesting ones. For example, Neuchâtel Non-Filtrot. It's the first Swiss wine released each year made from Chasselas grapes.
So you've got that novelty factor.
Exactly, and it pairs well with a lot of the local cuisine.
What else?
They have this amazing smoked sausage called saucisson neuchâtelois. It's often served in a torre, which is basically grilling it over an open fire.
That sounds like a fun experience for diners.
Definitely. And then there's absinthe, which has a really interesting history there.
Yeah, wasn't it banned for a while?
It was, but now it's making a comeback, and you see it used in all sorts of dishes, savory and sweet.
I've never tried it in food. That's interesting.
It adds a very distinct flavor. And there are those lovely Bat's Neuchâtelois chocolate pralines that commemorate a local historical event.
Oh, wow. So they have a story behind them.
Exactly. And you can't forget about jambon cuit dans l'asphalte.
Ham cooked in asphalt. That's a new one.
Yeah, it's a traditional method that supposedly yields super moist and flavorful ham.
I'll have to take their word for it. Are there any local events that center around food and drink?
Oh, for sure. Maurice mentions the Festa Neuchâteloise, which is an annual festival all about celebrating local gastronomy.
Sounds like a great way to showcase the region's culinary heritage.
Definitely. And then there's the Fête de Vendange, the Grape Harvest Festival.
Lots of wine tasting, I imagine.
Oh, definitely. And they serve traditional dishes like steak vigneron.
So those events are great opportunities to connect with the local community.
Absolutely. And speaking of local ingredients, what else should our listeners be aware of?
Fill us in.
Well, besides the wines, cheeses, and fish, there are some other notable local products.
Like what?
They have these cheeses called Brichon and Bleu Châtel, both very unique and flavorful.
Okay, I'm adding those to my list.
And for breads, you've got the Tilleul Neuchâtelois
Mm-hmm.
and Pain Neuchâtelois, both perfect for accompanying those cheeses and meats.
So all those classic pairings.
Exactly. And of course, the wines with themselves, Chasselas, Pinot Gris, Chardonnay, all really fantastic and perfect for pairing with the local cuisine.
Wow, so it really does sound like Neuchâtel has a lot to offer entrepreneurs who are passionate about food and hospitality.
That's what Maurice is trying to get across. It's not just a beautiful place. It's a region with a strong culinary identity and huge potential.
It's about authenticity, quality, creating something truly special.
Exactly. And in Neuchâtel, those things really matter, both to the local community and the visitors you want to attract.
Maurice has really opened our eyes to a hidden gem. It's not about chasing trends. It's about tapping into something real and genuine.
Right. He wants you to consider how this blend of tradition, natural beauty, and untapped potential could be the perfect foundation for your next big venture.
It's about looking beyond the familiar and seeing the possibilities in a place where the essence of the region elevates everything you do.
Maybe Neuchâtel is that place for you.
Food for thought.
Definitely.
Thanks for listening.
See you next time.